Hello everyone, good to see you once again on Football Planet, your show dedicated to football news on Africanews. Coming up on the show, first up, the end of the 16 final rounds of the African Club competition. No big surprises in either the CAF Champions League or the CAF Cup, but an outstanding credit for Horoya FC from Guinea. Wait until you see the full result tables. The newest twist on the 2021 AFCON fire, Cameroon is well prepared to host the competition according to the Confederation of African Football CAF, which accuses the Ivorian Football Federation of misinformation. Tune in as the dust settles in. And then our guest today is Soumaïla Tiamogo, coach of the Niger junior national team, with whom we will be discussing the Africa Cup of Nations in that category. Those were the headlines, the developments just after this transition. Welcome to Football Planet. They needed an unlikely comeback to make the Champions League group stage. Well done for the Guineans of Horoya. Beaten 3-0 in the first leg, they defeated the Libyans of Al-Nasr in Conakry by 6 goals to 2 to reach the group stage. Groups where we will find all the big names, with in particular the African champions and vice champions, as we can see on the table of results. And as you will see on the following table, only South Africa, Algeria, Egypt, DRC and Tunisia have managed to place 2 representatives in the group phase of this Champions League. And then you know that the teams eliminated from this Champions League will play in the playoffs of the CAF Confederations Cup, a phase for which we already know the teams that will compete with all the favorites. Morocco will have 4 representatives in these playoffs, including the title holder Raja of Casablanca. Let's now look together at the complete results of the 16th round of the CAF Confederations Cup. See you next week, Friday, for the draws of the playoffs of this CAF Cup and also for the CAF Champions League. Let us also talk about the confusion surrounding the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations. Well, after Côte d'Ivoire referred the matter to the Court of Arbitration for Sports, it is CAF's turn to hit back. The governing body of the African football criticizes the attitude of the Ivorians and talks about misinformation in the face of the anger of the Ivorian Federation authorities. But the main thing to remember is that, except for a turnaround, the 2021 AFCON will take place in Cameroon. The details in the following report.
The Confederation of African Football has confirmed Cameroon as the host of the 2021 edition of the African Cup of Nations. In a statement published on its website, CAF says it has received a positive response from the president of Cameroon, Paul Biya. According to CAF, the decision to award the organization of the CAN 2019, 2021 and 2023 was imposed by studying the reports of the multiple missions, as well as the films made on the reality of work done on the ground. This decision triggered many reactions in the media and on social networks, a situation CAF has criticized. For at least 2 weeks now, a major campaign of misinformation and denigration of the African Football Confederation has been orchestrated and suggests that the decisions taken at the last Executive Committee meeting on November 30, 2018 in Accra are not based in line with the strict application of the rules and regulations in force, the statement said. On November 30, Cameroon, the reigning African champions, were withdrawn from the 2019 edition. CAF's decision to award the 2021 Nations Cup to Cameroon has been challenged by Côte d'Ivoire at the Court of Arbitration for Sport.
In any case, we are following this matter with great interest. And it is now in this context of tension that the draws of another AFCON competition for cadets was held on Thursday in Tanzania. A draw with an explosive Group B where we find Cameroon, Guinea, Morocco and Senegal. The host country, meanwhile, faces Angola, Nigeria, the 2 times defending champions, and Uganda. Finally, just to remind you that this Africa Cup of Nations for the Under-17 is scheduled from the 14th of April to the 28th of April 2019, and it will be after the one of the juniors whose draws was made about 10 days ago. We are talking about this Under-20 AFCON with the coach of the host country, Niger, Sumalia Temengo, who tells us about Niger. Hi, coach, and thanks for your availability. So what do you think of this Junior Africa Cup of Nations draws? Do you find it appealing?
Well, here I think that, like all other draws, it is fate that has determined those we are going to play in the same group, namely South Africa, Burundi, and Nigeria, which is very good. Nigeria is well known. We share a border with them, which recently we played against them at the WAFU tournament. But the other teams, South Africa and Burundi, we don't know much about them. But what is certain is that we are going to rely a lot on the quality of our players and our style of play. We should make sure of what our players are worth and the worth of our team. We are going to rely on that a lot. And now we are sure that until then, we will know who the opponent is and what we are up against.
This necessarily requires good preparation. So what are you doing to put your team in the best conditions?
Yes, we are already coming out of another competition where we just qualified in the age category. But we will soon be embarking on a camping program in Mauritania to condition ourselves and perfect the way that is being done. This team is made up of the core group of players that qualified for the first World Cup, and I think it will be very useful in terms of the experience gained going into the second tournament.
We know you are very ambitious. Today you are hosting this major continental competition. Ambitions must necessarily be even greater. So what are your concrete objectives in this tournament?
Yes, well, as I said, our first objective is to qualify for the World Cup. The second objective is to win the tournament. Now, we are asking the Nigerian public, the Nigerian state, to support this team as they are doing, to support this team to go for victory. Now, in terms of the quality of the team, it is a team that has been together for a long time. Players who are used to the competition. They qualified at the Under-17 tournament in Gabon and then at the World Cup in India. So it is the same group of players that will make up the team. These are players who know each other well, and I think that they are ready to win.
Thank you very much, coach, and good luck.
Thank you very much. Nice having you.
Sumalia Temengo, coach of the Niger junior national team to host the AFCON in the category scheduled from February 2nd to 17, 2019. A tournament that will be played, I will remind you, without the defending champion Zambia, who could not qualify. We now hit the United Arab Emirates, where the Club World Cup was held, and for the third time in a row, a first in history, Real Madrid lifted the trophy on Saturday in Abu Dhabi. The Spaniards beat Al Ain Emirates in a one-way final. 4-1 the final score to win a fourth trophy in this competition. As a result, they became the most successful team in front of Barcelona and their 3 crowns, much to the relief of head coach Santiago Solari.
First, credit goes to the players. It is time to the group of players that we've won this trophy. It seems like a great way to end the year and put the finishing touches on a wonderful chapter that will be undoubtedly to try to keep on going. But winning 3 Champions League combined with 3 Club World Cups is something that will be difficult to reproduce.
Africa's representative at this World Club Championship, Esperance of Tunis, finished fifth, playing after a lone victory over Mexicans Chivas in the penalty shootout series. In England, the battle between Mohamed Salah and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang continued in the Premier League. The Egyptian from Liverpool scored his 11th goal of the season on Friday at Wolverhampton to keep the Reds in the lead. And then on Saturday, the Gabonese Arsenal striker sent a reply signal with a brace against Burnley in a 3-1 win, with Nigeria's Alex Iwobi scoring the Gunners' third goal at the very end of the game. It was the Panthers captain's 11th and 12th goal, now the lone top scorer in the English top tier. What a debut for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on the bench of Manchester United, a 5-1 win in Cardiff. This, of course, will bring a smile back to the Manchester United supporters.
To be fair, there's quite a few. You know, the attitude and application of the boys. You know, when you go out there and you see them, the attitude's been fantastic. The dressing room, the way they approach this game, just throughout, because it's been a difficult week for everyone. One of the things I talked about today is that a Man United team should never ever be outworked. Doesn't matter which team you play, you should run more than them, and then your skills will give you a chance to win a game.
And then let's finish with the FIFA ranking for the month of December, published on Thursday. No big changes. Senegal keeps its position as continental leaders and finishes the year as the boss of a podium completed by Tunisia and Morocco. Overall, Belgium dominates the table ahead of France, the world champions, and Brazil. It's the end of the show, but you can find it on our website on www.africanews.com. The discussion continues at the addresses that are currently displayed at the bottom of your screens. Wishing you a Merry Christmas. See you next week, Monday. Bye-bye.